Doom is the antithesis of so much of what the Switch excels at. Brash and bloody with thundering music and a cold heart, Doom is the digital representation of idle doodlings from a 15-year-old boy. One trait it does share in common with Nintendo's more family-friendly offerings, though, is gameplay that's as refined and exciting as anything out there. Combat is relentless, empowering, and downright thrilling in Doom, pushing this year-old port above the lesser aspects that make up the rest of this diabolical adventure. First, Switch owners are probably wondering how Doom holds up technically. Starting life on the Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and PC in May 2016, Doom always emphasized smooth action over high-end graphics, and for the most part, Doom's Switch is every bit as easy to play. The frame rate holds up during almost every fight, and the few dips usually only happen during bloody executions, so it doesn't hamper the killing fun. I should note that the game runs at 30 frames per second with a resolution of 720p on Switch versus 60 frames per second and 1080p for the other versions. There's also one glitch I encountered a number of times. The music drops out and the sound effects become dulled at seemingly random points. Things get back to normal after the next load screen, but it's a definite head scratcher when things go silent. If handheld is your preferred method of switching, Doom looks just as good on the small screen, but it's a much better game on a television. Granted, my vision isn't top notch, but I struggled to make out the smaller enemies and couldn't hit airborne foes to save my life. Doom is just so fast and frenetic that it's hard to do it justice in handheld mode. Although you can shake the Joy-Cons to do an execution, you can also click the right stick, so motion controls aren't required. If your eyes are sharper than mine, there aren't any control hurdles to overcome in handheld mode though. Now to get to the real selling point. The action in Doom is the polar opposite of the many plodding, duck behind cover while you regenerate your life shooters out there. Fights are so fast, it's like you're a jacked up rabbit being slingshot headfirst into a demonic battle. Movement is the key to success, and that stopping leads to quick deaths. Enemies pour into the battlefields, and you have to sprint through tunnels, leap across chasms, shinny up ledges, and jump off glowing trampolines to stay one step ahead of your determined pursuers. The one brilliant innovation of Doom that pushes you to stay on the offensive comes from the hand-to-hand executions. Once you stagger an enemy with enough bullets, they glow blue and orange, and that's your cue to smash their heads in. Doing so gives you extra life, so when you're near death, it's better to rush in to perform a glory kill than cower like a coward away from danger. That risk-reward system is the key to Doom's tenacious hook. Fights are long and nasty affairs that require you to think fast and move even faster to quell the relentless horde. Your arsenal is more than enough to stay on top. There's a shotgun, plasma rifle, chain gun, and more, each with its own unique strengths and weaknesses to ensure you use every weapon. I really loved how I couldn't just rely on one or two guns the entire campaign. Ammunition is in short supply, so you're forced to bounce between guns. So you'd better master each and every one. You wouldn't want to face off against a boss with just a gauze cannon if you haven't disposed of a few dozen enemies with it beforehand, right? As great as the combat is though, none of the other elements can live up to its impressive heights. This is an ugly game. I know Hell and Mars aren't supposed to be the most beautiful places, but the artistic design was downright boring and repetitive for most of the campaign. The levels look so similar that I often got lost. Plus, the compass and map aren't great at pointing you in the right direction, so I spent a lot of time just wandering around. It's a serious letdown going from the crazy combat to bumbling around nondescript locations trying to find the next fight. The game also slows down when you upgrade your gear. Guns and your armor can be infused with new abilities, which sounds fine, but I had no interest poking around in menus when there were enemies waiting to be killed. I would have preferred an upgrade system like Ratchet & Clank's. In that franchise, guns automatically upgraded whenever you killed enough enemies with that gun. It's the perfect way to inject more variety into your arsenal while incentivizing reasons to switch which guns you use without slowing things down with menus. There's also a story about Mars, hell, demons, and portals to mysterious places, but the narrative clashes with the combat too. This is a game about speed. The music is loud and raucous, the enemies quick and deadly, and I got amped up in each and every fight. My heart was racing and my blood was pounding, and then a cutscene. Holographic people talking about whatever. Come on! There's a time and a place for story, and it's not when you're slaying demons by the truckload. It's incredible how the combat in Doom is so exciting, but every other aspect contradicts that design approach. Maybe I'm impatient, but when I'm immersed in a super fast game, I don't want to spend time in menus or listening to a by-the-book story or staring at a map to figure out where to go next. I want to rush into the next battle head first as I wonder what kind of afterlife demons have. The campaign is at least a long one. It took me about 12 hours and I didn't find most of the secrets strewn about levels. There's plenty of reason to go back 2 or 3 times to thoroughly humiliate demons and perfect your combat tactics. But if you want more, there's a multiplayer mode. Sadly, it's not nearly as exciting as the main offering. There's little to separate this from other shooters, so this feels kind of flat compared to the great campaign. I would much rather dive back into a harder difficulty setting than trade rockets with some dude living in Des Moines. So Doom is a little uneven, but its software nails the most important part, the combat. As long as it's fun to slay demons, it doesn't matter too much that the rest of the adventure fails to live up to that high standard. I can only say that I liked Doom, but it's a no-brainer if you're itching for some first-person action on your Switch.